wraparound mortgage. Wraparound mortgage is usually associated with what we call creative financing, wherein an owner finances the property. When they finance the property, they have an existing mortgage and they agree to accept a larger mortgage from the buyer. So the buyer pays a larger mortgage to the seller. The seller then in turn continues to make their payment under the first mortgage. An example of this would be, let's say a seller owes $50,000 on his property, and he sells his property to a buyer for $100,000, and the buyer only has $20,000 to put down. But the seller agrees to hold an $80,000 mortgage, and that would be a wraparound mortgage, since they would be making the payments or collecting payments on $80,000, and they in turn would be responsible, the seller would be responsible for paying the underlying first mortgage, and that they would not satisfy their first mortgage. There are problems that can be associated with this, and the buyer may be concerned that the seller may take his payments and not pay the first mortgage. So we have to use care in assuring the buyer that the seller pays their payments so that they don't get foreclosed upon. Also, with almost all institutional mortgages, there's what they call a quotation mark due on sale clause, and a quotation meaning that whenever the property is sold or transferred, then the loan can become due and payable. With as many defaults in mortgages these days, there's usually not too many lenders that are calling a loan due and payable, but it does get complicated when dealing with the insurance and how the loan, the taxes come out in the new buyer's name. So a wraparound mortgage is a little complicated. That's a way of doing creative financing, and there certainly needs the guidance of a good real estate lawyer if you're going to consider either taking back a wraparound mortgage, or if you're a buyer and you're going to give the seller a mortgage and they're not going to pay off their underlying first mortgage. So if you have any questions about a wraparound mortgage, give me a call at 727-847-2288.